Choices, chances, dreams and goals. Many mixed emotions in my heart and soul. For some I made a plan and did the best I can. If God wills, things can happen. After all, I'm just a man. Choices, chances, dreams and goals. Many mixed emotions in my heart and soul. For some I made a plan and did the best I can. If God wills, things can happen. After all, I'm just a man.
Assalamu alaikum wa barakatuh, dear brother and sister everyone in the world. Welcome to a new episode of Life Choices. We are continuing with the history and the life of Omar ibn al-Khattab radiallahu anhu. Last episode we had Omar the leader. This episode will have Omar and the responsibility. How was Omar carrying the responsibility? Sometimes for people, responsibility, it's like heavy weight on their shoulder. Some people, they are enjoying the responsibility. We want you all to be enjoying the responsibility inspired by Omar. And for further discussion about this, I would like first to welcome my dear guest and the human resource consultant and expert, Mr. Ahmed Afifi. Assalamu alaikum, Mr. Ahmed. Welcome to a new episode of Life Choices.
Thank you.
Honored to have you again.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much. So, continuing with Omar ibn al-Khattab, radiallahu anhu.
Yes.
Last episode, as I just mentioned, we had Omar as a leader and how Omar utilized best models of leadership. So, I see that leadership could never exist without people knowing the responsibility and accepting the responsibility
Yes.
they already had.
Yes.
And they go further by not just accepting the responsibility, they just caring about implementing the responsibility.
Oh, yes. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. First of all, I would like to say that Sayyidina Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, كلكم راع وكلكم مسؤول عن رعيتكم.
Yes.
And this means that everybody is a shepherd.
Mm-hmm.
And every shepherd, or every person, is responsible to other people.
Yes.
And Sayyidina Omar radiallahu anhu did or used this hadith literally as it is.
Mm-hmm.
And he used to say, if there's one camel
Yes.
that tripped
Mm-hmm.
in Iraq
Yes.
and he was in Medina,
Mm-hmm.
okay, Omar would be responsible of this incident
Yes.
on the day of judgment in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Yes, because I see this sentence, if there is a cattle that went down in Iraq, and he was in Medina at this time, Omar would be asked for. With this sentence, we could have dozens of books just on this sentence by Omar. And I see, Mr. Ahmed, this is the essence of real responsibility.
Yes.
He loved the responsibility he had. And I remember one of his sayings. He said it literally in Arabic. If I know, لو أعلم أن في الأمة خير مني لوليته. If I know that there is someone
Yes.
in the whole ummah is better than me, I would step aside and let him rule.
Yes. Actually, the responsibility in Islam is not just something simple. It's very, very, very complex. And the one thing about Sayyidina Umar radiallahu anhu, that he never and he couldn't give the responsibility to anyone else because he knew that no one else can carry
Yes.
it but him.
Yes.
And because of this,
Mm-hmm.
he did everything himself. He rolled his sleeves, as we say, and
Yes.
he just went down and he did everything,
Yeah.
including monitoring the people at night,
Mm-hmm.
monitoring the people in the morning,
Yes.
seeing what is going on in Medina, Mecca, Ta'if.
Mm-hmm.
He traveled all over the Arab world. And he just wanted to see what was next. And there were a lot of stories
Mm-hmm.
that were told. I mean, the one story about we mentioned last time about the woman who was doing
Yes.
the milk.
Yes.
Yes, the
Mhm.
one who was
And
making
her
the
daughter
milk.
told her
And
no, Allah already sees us.
Yes.
Yes.
Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sees us all the
Mm-hmm.
time. So the same thing with Sayyidina Umar. When Sayyidina Umar died, they discovered that he had a lot of bruises and cutting and all this. And this was because at night he always tortured himself, saying, Allah, please, did I do the right thing or not?
Yes.
And this was responsibility. And while he was dying, he was saying that this responsibility does not make you sleep.
Yes.
And the responsibility doesn't make you sleep at all.
Mm-hmm.
If you're responsible, if you're responsible of one person under you, you'll be judged with every single little aspect.
Yes.
Okay, so this is what Sayyidina Umar was doing. He was asking himself
Mm-hmm.
over and over again.
Yes.
And when the Muslims died in Damascus
Mm-hmm.
during the Great Plague,
All right.
he was crying all the time because he felt responsible.
Yes.
Yes,
Despite
he-
it's a plague.
Yes,
Not in his
it's,
hands.
it's not in his hands, but he was thinking, what could I do?
Yes.
Am I going to sit down and tie my hands behind me?
Mm-hmm.
So this is how it was. This is how it was like with him.
This is how it was like, and I see these days some people, and especially with young men, young fathers, who just got a young baby, etc.
Yes.
They see that, oh, young baby will have more responsibility, like they're caring, medication while they are just get born. Couple of years and will start with school, will need to work extra time in order to provide extra money. I see this and I hear it, and why are you seeing the responsibility of a new baby instead of you have real joy in your heart that you had a newborn?
Okay, well,
You see it as it's
Yes.
it's like a big rock on their shoulders.
yes. Well, actually, that's a good thing. I wouldn't really consider it a bad thing,
Mhm.
because this is how Sayyidina Umar looked at it.
How?
It's a great rock on your shoulder that you are responsible for all these people. If anything happens,
Yes.
okay. Remember the story of the woman, or they say a man,
Mhm.
that saved a dog, and because of saving the dog,
Yeah.
okay, a dog,
Yes.
he went to heaven,
Yeah. Yeah.
okay. And another story of a woman who
Torture the cat. I think.
tortured a cat,
Yes.
and she used to pray and do
Yeah,
all
yeah.
the 5 pillars,
Mhm.
and she went to hell.
Yeah.
Yes, because she tortured the poor cat.
Yes.
Okay, so this is the responsibility of a cat. Imagine a human being.
Okay. Imagine
So-
a whole ummah
Yes,
under Omar.
yes,
Mhm.
yes. Imagine.
Imagine a family.
Yes.
And because in today's
Mhm.
world, I see that life became very fast. I see some fathers, they are very, very rare to see and talk to their children,
Yes.
know what are their problems. Sometimes they notice that there is a problem when the problem already happened.
Yes.
When schools call them, we have a problem in this, but you already should be there in order to avoid the problem.
Yes. Well, actually, when you talk about responsibility of
Mhm.
people, okay, we can start off with الآية
Mhm.
في سورة الحجرات.
Okay.
says يا أيها الذين آمنوا إن خلقناكم من ذكر وأنثى
Mhm.
وجعلناكم شعوبا وقبائل لتعارفوا إن أكرمكم عند الله أتقاكم.
Mhm.
So Allah's talking to mankind, not
Yes.
just Muslims. You say,
Yes.
"O mankind,
Mhm.
we have created you from male,
Yeah.
single male,
Mhm.
single female,
Yes.
and nations
Mhm.
and tribes to get to know each other."
All the mankind.
Yes, all the
Mhm.
mankind. The ones who are righteous are
Mhm.
going to be the ones close to me.
Mhm.
Okay? And Allah alimun khabir. Allah knows knows everything about what is going on.
Yes.
So when we go to this, we start to look at what makes a nation. A man
Mhm.
and a woman.
Yes.
Okay? So what is the responsibility of the man and the woman? The responsibility of a single person first. This is what we look
Mhm.
for. The responsibility of the single person are, first of all, we start with the 5 pillars of Islam. Okay? when you do the 5 pillars,
Mhm.
you move on to the next, which is the 6 pillars of faith.
Yeah.
Believing in Allah,
Mhm.
His books,
Yes.
the angels,
Yes.
the Day of Judgment,
Yes.
the destiny,
Yeah.
and His prophets.
Yes.
Okay, so these are the 6.
Mhm.
And how do you take the responsibility of this? You teach yourself. You must
Mhm.
learn.
Yes.
Go to seminars, read
Mhm.
articles,
Yes.
etc. All of this is your responsibility.
Mhm. And in today's, with the technology and the existing of social media, people can already know about any subject despite where they are in the world.
Yes.
We have people in America who are not Muslims yet who can know about Islam.
Yes.
People even in Moscow, in China, and everywhere. The
Yes.
world already became a small village.
Yes.
Mhm.
And the important thing that you can attend debates
Yes.
that are happening between 2 religions,
Yes.
if you believe in a religion.
Mhm.
And it's very important
Mhm.
that you do this. So this is the responsibility of a
Mhm.
single person.
All right.
Then after that, there's another responsibility, and this is for the Day of Judgment.
Mhm.
Okay. Sayyidina Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam
Mhm.
said that you will not move your foot
Mhm.
in front of a God on the Day of Judgment unless you are asked for 4 things. Your life,
Yes.
and how did you spend your life?
Mhm.
Your youth,
Yes.
and how did you waste your youth?
Yes.
Your money, from where did you gain it, and how did you spend it?
Yes.
And the last thing is your knowledge. Your knowledge, you put 100 lines under the word knowledge.
I would like to take them one by one again.
Yes.
So the first,
Is your life.
your life,
Yes, the responsibility of life.
of life.
Yes.
And here we stop with our audience.
Mm.
Because as long as you're ready in life and you're taking your breath, plus you are a Muslim, you really should have the thinking that as long as I'm alive, I have a responsibility. And this refers to the question, why am I here in this life? Why God brought me to this life? Because nothing already came by a sudden in this world. Among all the billion movements in the whole universe, nothing goes without a reason, without a cause. So this is the life.
Life, yes.
Okay. And
Okay.
the second?
The youth.
The youth.
How do you use your youth, in other words? Let's say that you're young. Everybody are young, okay? How do they use their youth? Do
The
they
era
help?
of youth, starting,
Yes.
for example, from your 20th till your 30th? or
Earlier
35th?
than this, we can say from 16, okay?
Let's say 15
15, 16.
till 40, for example, or
Uh,
35,
Maybe more than that, as long
Mhm.
as long as you're healthy, okay?
as long as you're healthy.
Yes, the youth is mostly, when you concentrate on the youth,
Mhm.
we say that, for example, I met bodybuilders who are grandfathers, okay,
Yeah.
who can
Sometimes it's
actually
easy.
carry
Yeah.
and help people.
Uh-huh.
So what's meant by this is that as long as you're healthy
Mhm.
and you have a good state of mind,
Mhm.
how did you use this? Okay,
Mhm.
did you help out the people? Did you use it for evil? Some people use it for evil, to
Yes,
steal.
because I see that it's when you're healthy or you have good strength,
Yes,
this is a sort of power.
yes.
So, and any sort of power can be well used or misused.
Yes.
Misused means the evil way. And again, it's the end, it's your choice to go to the evil side or to the good side.
Mm.
So, your youth,
Yes.
and this is for the youth of our audience, because this is the most critical time in everyone's life, where you already build for what is next. Let's say that you are in 15 years old now. What you are doing for the next 10 to 20 years are the pillars or the base or the background for your future life in order to support the message of Allah. This is why it is very critical. So you really, really need to be wise about it. And thanks God, because at this time we have the strength, we have the ability, we have the energy that could make us work more than 20 hours a day, and we never give up and we never feel tired as long as we have a message. This is why that youth is one of the 4 things that a man will be asked before God on the judgment day.
Yes.
Right?
Yes,
So,
which is the main responsibility, of course.
yes.
So then moving on, we go to your money.
Your money as
Yes.
a resource, very, very important resource.
Yes.
Because
And
let's
today
say that
everybody's going after it. Money, 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 you know.
Ah,
So
ask me about it. We work in economics.
yes.
Yeah.
So when you work, how did you gain this money?
Mm-hmm.
Did you gain it by real work? Did you sit there, do nothing, and depend on everybody around you, and then you get paid at the end of the month?
Yes.
Okay, so how did you gain this money? Did you really get tired for this money? This is the question. And after that, how did you spend the money? Did you spend it, first of all, did you pay your sadaqah? Did you pay your zakah? Okay, so this is the first thing. You go back to the pillars, the 5 pillars of Islam. Okay, and then you'll be asked, what happened with the rest of your money? Did you save it and not give it to a needy? Did you save it for a reason? Maybe somebody saved it and then he died.
Yes.
Okay, so he's going to be asked for that money. Maybe he bought the right thing, bought an apartment, he was getting ready to get married,
Yes.
etc. So all of this, we're talking about a single person.
Yeah.
This is for both man and woman.
Man and
okay.
woman. Okay.
The last thing.
But before we go to the last thing, I would like to stop with the money.
Yes.
Because money is a very precious resource in man's life.
Yes.
So I see that when people, they start to gain money, because we had some studies concerning people who are seeking money.
Yes.
The study showed that most of the people who are seeking money, they spend the money in things that they really don't want it.
Oh, yes. Yes. See, there's
It's like a dream.
proverb. It's a proverb that says, easy come, easy go.
Easy come, easy go. And I remember that I had a conversation with a friend. This was a couple of months ago. He works in stocks. And we're discussing stocks because we work in economics, so there's a common there's a common point. And he told me that in terms of stocks, you know, in Wall Street, Ahmed, when just a single small rumor can turn a gigantic company down and make it broke in less than 48 hours.
Yes. Yes.
I told him, I know this, but I cannot imagine it how. By numbers, I know it, but how can it be? He told me that there are some executives who are working in creating rumors about their competitors for their companies to fall down, and they buy these companies in very, very cheap way. So I see here misuse of a couple of resources, the knowledge or the brain you already had, because they are really, really big brains there.
Yes.
And the money that you already had as a resource.
Yes. So, and going on about money, when we talk about money, actually, when you go back to Sayyidina Omar ibn al-Khattab, one of the things that he did when the rulers started to rule, he said that they no longer work with money or with trading.
Because of the conflict of interest.
Yes, the conflict of interest. So you have it right there. So this is the money part. Then you have your knowledge. Okay, this is very important. Yes. Knowledge is a very important weapon, known as the know-how. You know, how to do it. How do you do it? So imagine that you have the know-how of a medication made for diabetes. Okay? If you have that knowledge and you don't give it out to the people, on the day of judgment, you're going to be judged very harsh for this.
Yes.
Because you had knowledge that people could use, and you did not use it at all for the good. Okay?
Right.
Some people actually make profits out of it. Did you make extreme profits out of it? This is how you're going to be judged. Okay? Imagine that you have just a slight idea about a medication for diabetes. The best thing to do is not to tell the people until you tried it on yourself.
Yes.
or trade it on
Make it
somebody
reliable.
else. When you make it reliable, people will trust you. Then you will get the thawab.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. And one thing that we know, and we noticed actually, that people who have the knowledge and they give it to others, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala provides them with other knowledge.
Other source of knowledge.
Yes.
Yes.
And happens a
Correct.
lot, and I've seen it a lot. People
Yes.
who had a lot of knowledge, they read a lot of books, and they gave out their knowledge to others. And the moment they did that, the other knowledge that they started to get from
Yes.
nowhere,
Yeah.
all over, and new aspects and very much golden information that they got out of
Yes.
nowhere just because they gave it out. It's just like giving your zakat or sadaqah. And the zakat or sadaqah, they give you, the blessing.
Yes.
When you have the blessing, you'll have more
Yes.
out of
ما
nowhere.
نقص مال من صدقة.
Yes. So the knowledge actually is the most important. Plus, the teachers, they
have a great responsibility in this because
Yes.
they provide the learning and the knowledge to the new generation. So
Yes.
I really feel sorry for the teacher because he or she, they are really carrying responsibility for the new generation, for the future. When it's like you have a driving wheel, and this driving wheel is responsible to deliver the whole people behind you in the car for the future.
Yes.
So I just feel sorry for them and envy them at the same time, because if they used it well, definitely they will be in heaven.
Yes.
And there are two parts concerning knowledge: hiding the knowledge and misuse the knowledge. And I do care about the knowledge because I think it's one of the most crucial.
Oh, yes.
It's
Yes.
crucial more than the money.
No, yes.
Because sometimes you have money, but you don't have the brain how to run and invest this money while people who already got trained their brains and they have knowledge and good education, they know, as you said, they know how to
Yes.
do this, how to do that. Some people, they misuse the
Yes.
knowledge they have.
Yes.
Like, as we said before, there is a bad science,
Yes. Yes.
like nuclear weapons.
Yes.
It is very complicated type of science.
Yes. Yes.
And there is a science for medication to help and support people.
Yes.
And there are people who make medication with very low cost for the people.
If you look at dynamite, for example,
Mm-hmm.
okay, this was where the money of the Nobel Prizes were made.
Yes.
Okay.
I remember Nobel
So
Prize.
if you look at the Nobel Prizes, okay, and this is where you got dynamite.
Yes.
Dynamite could be used in killing people
Yes.
by exploding, making accidents, etc.
Yes.
Or you can work on mines,
Yes.
making mines and searching for gold and goods and
Exactly.
goods for people,
Yes.
okay, or creating ways or creating all these things.
Mhm.
So of course you have the goods and the bad of everything.
Yes.
Yes.
It's actually, I see it in concerning the dynamite especially, because it's a very good example. Thank you, Ahmed,
Yes.
for this. You have the thing, like the internet, like the dynamite. The internet, you could be very well educated and have knowledge and information, and you could go for something bad at the same time.
Yes.
And both go with single click, right? Continuing with Omar and responsibility and how your life is a great responsibility that you need to invest it well concerning time, youth, knowledge, money, everything that you will be asked for on Judgment Day will be continued after a short break. Please don't go anywhere.
Let's start from where they started. Who are they? The companions of the Prophet ﷺ. When they started learning the religion of Islam, they started with the aqidah, the belief system, faith. Brothers and sisters in Islam, dear viewers, the Prophet ﷺ spent 13 years in Mecca teaching that generation the belief system, the aqidah. Aisha radiallahu anha confirms this by saying, the first things which were revealed from the Quran was matters of aqidah. Who is Allah? Jannah, paradise and hell. Jundub ibn Abdullah al-Bajali, may Allah be pleased with him, said, we learned the belief system, we learned the iman, we learned the aqidah, then we learned the Quran, Brothers and sisters in Islam, nowadays, a lot of our cultural practices, a lot of our societal norms are against our belief system. And the reason why we're falling into this, because we did not start from where they started.
Huda TV's social media sites are the best way to contact us from anywhere around the world. Stay connected with Huda TV's latest news and programs through Facebook, Twitter, Google+, YouTube, Skype, and Instagram. It's fast and easy. Stay up to date with your favorite shows and scholars today. Huda TV, a light in every home.
Welcome back again, part 2 of Life Choices and Omar and the Responsibility. Before we start the second part of our episode, we would like to remind you with the existing of our social media on Facebook and YouTube. Please go there and share your thoughts about the episodes and how we do this and what could be subjects that you need to be discussed in order to best support your life. So welcome back, Mr. Ahmed.
Thank you.
So we were speaking about that everyone will be asked them 4 things, and we discussed them in brief.
Yes.
And how everyone is responsible for himself and for people under him.
Yes.
Like a father, mother, brother, ruler maybe. This is why I know that the rulers and kings and caliphs, etc.,
yes,
they will be the first one who ask, because they didn't just have responsibility of themselves, and what did they do to the people under them?
Yes. Well, actually, I'll just put one more point for the single person. Okay. The last point that I wanted to point out is the body of the person.
Mm-hmm.
The body is your responsibility.
Yes.
It's a gift from God.
Yes.
Okay. You like it, you don't like it. It's a gift from God.
Yes.
Okay. So the important thing that we need to really take care of that body. Speaking of taking care of the body, we were talking about stay away from non-healthy things that we are doing.
Yes.
Like smoking. People smoke. People drink.
Yes.
People...
Fast food.
Eating fast food, yes.
Yes.
Easy, not even eating any kind of healthy food.
Yes.
One of the things is not sleeping well.
Mm-hmm.
You're supposed to sleep from 7 to 8 hours a day.
Okay.
People don't sleep. People really are abusing their bodies.
Despite the body is like the car that will drive you to your distance.
Yes.
The destiny are aiming at. So this car needs to be powerful.
Yes.
It needs to be Lamborghini.
Yes. It needs to be taken care of.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care if it's a Lamborghini. I mean, it could be...
any supercar. It should be super.
Yeah, it should be a very good car, because you should be taking care of this.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And you do your best. Then, if you get sick, of course, you have to seek medical help of any kind. Mm-hmm. And you have to research and do everything yourself. So this is your responsibility.
Yes.
Okay?
Because you will not be able to help people and do the good things that are required for the message of Allah while you are sick.
Yes.
Or while you are not healthy enough. Right?
Yes. Yes. So actually, you can try your best, okay, especially if we have something out of your hands, okay? But the important thing is that we don't need to drive ourselves to something out from our hands after that.
Yes.
Then moving from, this is the single person, okay? Moving from a single person...
But this is for the single and the couple being taking care of their bodies.
Well, of course, we're talking about, but this is how the single person is going to be judged in front of God, as in, and we're talking about each person's responsibility.
Yeah, for the one, him or herself only.
Him or herself only.
All right.
All of this is their responsibility, okay? Then we move to the second responsibility.
Of a single person?
No, after leaving the single person, we start to move to what makes nations, which are families.
Yes.
Okay?
Okay.
So we start with what Sayyidina Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, يا معشر الشباب من استطاع منكم الباء فليتزوج
Yes.
فإنه أغض للبصر وأحسن للفرج.
Yes.
ماشي. ومن لم يستطع فعليه بالصوم.
Yes.
Okay.
And just to translate it for our audience.
Yes.
And this meaning that for young people, as Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, young people who is able to get married fast. This is the fa letter in Arabic. It is for the hurry, for the quick. Or if you cannot, so you have to go for fasting, siyam, and marriage will be taking care of not looking at the woman and making
satisfying your needs.
Your needs being satisfied in the legal way.
Yes.
Right?
Okay. But I like to point one thing. Okay. من استطاع منكم الباءة فليتزوج. Okay.
Right.
And we're talking about, it's not just whomever is ready to marry, it's the responsibility of marriage.
Who can.
Yes.
Yes.
It's called the responsibility of marriage. Who can, yes. So we can take a deep look at this. When we take a deep look at this, this is exactly the example that you were giving. The men, especially a lot of dads, who get their son or daughter and they're like, oh my God, I had a baby, etc., and they start to panic. Okay? The thing is, most of these people are not, they weren't ready from the beginning to carry the responsibility.
Yeah, because some people, they think readiness for marriage is just financial readiness.
No, it has to do
which is completely wrong. Because you could be financially ready. You have the capability financially to get married. You can provide a good house, some expenses for your home, etc. But you're not ready for the responsibility of a woman in your life and then kids.
Yes. And the responsibility actually goes both ways. We're talking about a man and his wife.
Yes.
And this is why when you get to choose, you have to choose a person who's very close to God and who's ready to take the responsibility. She has a vision of marriage. She has a vision of children, etc. And the same thing with the man. Okay? If you marry somebody who says, let's get married and then after, 5, 6, 7, 8 years we'll have children, etc., etc. This would give you a sense that this person is not really ready. He's ready just for marriage.
Where they are going to.
Yes. They're a little lost. Okay,
actually, I see that they look under their feet. They don't look like this.
Yes.
They look like this.
Yes.
Which is completely dangerous and wrong. Because I see that when people are thinking of the vision for the kids, they start to think, even before they get married, what I am going to do for my kids, for my wife.
Yes.
How am I going to secure their future? How am I going to support and help them to implement the message of Allah?
Yes.
And what will be their specialization, how to discover it. Many, many questions, and there are tough questions that father, especially the father and the mother shared, but the father have greater responsibility to answer these questions.
Yes. So
is the pathfinder.
Yes. And if you actually look at the responsibility of the man, okay, in the marriage, he is responsible to lead his wife and the children, first of all, to the worship,
Yes.
Okay. Second, he must and he's responsible to provide for the house, all the needs.
Yes.
Okay. And then he is responsible to raise the children with his wife.
Yes.
Okay. Drawing the vision, mission, everything to the children. Okay.
Especially raising the kids, because I see these days some people, some young men, they think that raising the kids is the responsibility of the woman alone, and I listen to this and actually I got wondered.
Yes.
It's not just her responsibility, man.
Actually,
where are you?
Yeah.
Because if you are just responsible to provide money, then you turned yourself from a father into an ATM.
Yes.
That's it.
Yes. And this is how it is, that most of the Arab and Muslim communities are starting to become like this. I'm sure you would see that also in European and American communities. But we're having this problem, especially with the time running. Okay, people work from 9 to 5, etc.
That time became so hard.
So time is becoming hard to see your kids.
To see your kids, because I see that in everything we work, especially in our specialty, which is strategy and economics, we also always consider the time of money, because we have something called the time value of money. Today, you have 1 million. Tomorrow, it could be same 1 million. But its value, it's totally different.
Yes.
This is why time became an enemy.
Yes. And the problem is that people are not really looking at the right choices for themselves, both ways. And we're talking about both responsible. I mean, part of your responsibility is also taking care of your wife if she's sick, okay? And on the other hand, when you look at a woman, her responsibility is to take care of her man and the children, and to lead the children to Islam, okay, and to lead her husband, okay. Why aren't you leading us? Why don't you lead the children to Islam, etc., etc.? And the problem is, a lot of governments don't really see that this is an actual value. If a woman stays at home and she takes care of the kids, okay. This is actually it's an extreme value. Okay.
Because of the future generation.
Yes, because people, they're being raised, and you're just cutting off future thieves and robbers and people who don't take responsibility of their kids in the future, etc., etc., etc. Okay? But even though the man would work and the woman would stay at home, it's the man's responsibility also to take care of the kids. Okay?
Yes.
So what I'm saying is that I believe that governments should pay women who stay at home and take care of the kids, because they're taking care of the human resources, or raising the human resources of the future.
Asset of any nation.
Yes, which is the humans. Okay? Then it's both the responsibility, as we said, to raise the children for education. Okay? Education, and educating them Islamically, and educating them for the right future, and giving them the message that they should carry Islam as a responsibility to move it on and on to others. Okay?
Yes.
So, you created the family. Okay? We start to look at the responsibility about people around you. So, the neighbor. The neighbor. So, for example, Prophet Muhammad ﷺ said that Sayyidina Jibreel, the angel Jibreel, kept on giving him and advising him and telling him to take care of his neighbor, that he thought that when he dies, he's going to inherit the neighbor some of his money, of his owners, his ownings. So that's one of the things, that you must really be very close to your neighbor. Today we don't see that. And it's part of the responsibility of Islam. You have to exchange with the neighbor. If the neighbor has a problem, if they're happy, you should be happy with them. If there's somebody sick, you should take care of them. If somebody needs help, you should take care of them. Okay? And a lot of times, I remember in the old days, we didn't really have a lot of apples in Egypt. Okay? Apples came only from Port Said, and they were especially imported from outside. So a lot of times, our parents would tell us, don't show anybody that you have apples or any kind of special fruits.
Yes.
Because this would be hurting
Yes, because they
the
cannot
neighbor.
afford it, or
Maybe they
don't have
cannot afford it.
Yes.
So this is the responsibility of the person towards his neighbor, not to embarrass them, to
Taking care of them, not to provide
taking
some
care of
lies,
them.
etc.
Maybe their father died. He should give them maybe extra money, maybe something. And taking care of the neighbor is something very, very, very high and crucial in Islam. Moving from the neighbor, how do we pray? We pray in the mosque, okay? In group prayers, especially the men. This is mandatory for the men. It's choice for women, okay? But if a woman goes to the mosque or a man goes to the mosque, they meet other people, okay? So you start to making social media.
Yes.
Then you have friends. Your responsibility toward your friends to ask about them if they're gone, to see if they're sick. You would go visit them. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on the Day of Judgment is going to ask the people, why didn't you visit me while I was sick?
Yes.
And he's going to say, Allah, you don't get sick. He said, yes, but your friend so-and-so or your neighbor so-and-so was sick and you never asked about him.
Yes.
So this is our responsibility.
Actually, I see the responsibility, they never end. But before we continue with the responsibilities, we have a phone call from Muhammad from Cairo. Assalamu alaikum, Muhammad.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. How are you, Brother Ahmed?
Yes, how are you? Thank you.
And I want to thank you first for this beautiful program.
Thank you.
And your topic actually is very interesting.
Thank you.
So I want to tell you something regarding the responsibility.
Sure.
So I want to ask, when I want to take or make a decision that may hurt any other person, I feel shy to make it. I want to know, is it a problem or not, actually?
No, but forgive me, Muhammad. Shall you repeat it, but in louder voice, please? You said that you have to make a decision that it could affect your friend, or what?
Yeah. That maybe affect my friend, my colleague, or maybe any person. I feel that I'm very shy to do so. I find myself very peaceful.
Sure.
You know. So I want to know, is it a problem or not regarding the responsibility? So also I heard about the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam that he said to Abu Dhar, may Allah be pleased with him, that he said to Abu Dhar, oh Abu Dhar, so don't put yourself in a responsibility. So I want to make sure if this is a problem or not. Okay.
All right.
You got it?
Yes, we got it, Muhammad.
Yes.
Okay, thank you, Muhammad, for your call. And concerning Muhammad's question, the first question, actually, I see it very important for some people, because sometimes he feels shy, or he feels responsible for making decisions that could affect friends or family members or anyone who's close to Muhammad.
Yes.
My opinion, I see that could be sharp, but this is how I see it works. We either have black or white. I don't see a gray zone.
No, actually, well,
if it is right, he should go for it.
Well, yes, but I see Islamically, if it's directly and has to do something direct with Islam, okay, he must go black or white, okay? But he must take it slowly. You know, brother, I see that you're doing a mistake about this, about that, you know. There's something missing here. There's something that you didn't really learn. He would give him an example. For example, Sayyidina al-Hasan and Sayyidina al-Hussein, when they started to grow, they met this young man, or this man. He was coming from the desert, and he was making wudu, and he was doing totally wrong. So how did they teach him how to make wudu? So what they did was they told him, "Sir, can you watch us while we make our wudu? And you would judge which one of us did it right and which one of us did it wrong." So they both did it.
Yes.
They both made their wudu in front of him.
Decent
And he saw both, and he said, both of you are right, I was wrong.
Yes.
Okay? So this is how you should do it, especially if this responsibility is going to affect or has to do with Islam. Okay?
So, sorry for interruption, but I see that one should think creatively how to implement the decision while taking care of his friends and family and implement the decision at the same time.
Yes.
Right.
And actually, you need to think how I could really take care of this. Okay? And then there is another thing, which he said about Sayyidina Abu Zar al-Ghaffari. What happened is that Sayyidina Abu Zar al-Ghaffari wanted to rule one of the cities.
Yes.
So Sayyidina Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam told him, don't take that responsibility. It's too much.
This is part 2 of the question.
Yes.
The second question of Muhammad.
Yes. And this is actually, this is how it goes. If you cannot take the responsibility, as I was saying, whomever can take the responsibility of marriage,
yes,
whomever can take the responsibility of ruling or leading,
yes,
take the responsibility. If you can't, apologize. It could be your right.
yes.
We used to have this super manager, but inside a department.
Yes.
Okay? But outside the department, when he said, I'm going to be manager, the top management was very, very, very harsh. We told him, you're not going to be able to continue with these people.
Yeah.
6 months and he quit when he took the responsibility. Why? Because he wasn't able to do it.
He wasn't able, and this refers to someone to know his or her capability.
Yes.
Not to follow their dreams, they follow their capabilities.
Yes.
And I remember also Omar radiallahu anhu himself, he was afraid.
Oh yes, of course. He was afraid, and he was as I was saying, he used to torture himself. You know, because
he was very afraid to accept it before he becomes the caliph.
The caliph, yes.
He was
yes,
very
he was
afraid to take it. And first time he heard that they nominated Omar. No, everyone, he said it to Uthman ibn Affan and Ali ibn Abi Talib. Every one of you is capable. So you see who will be, and I'm with you. And he left because he was very afraid.
Yes.
And he was hesitated to go on top and talk to the people as he is the caliph.
Yes.
So, and this is in response to the second question of our friend Muhammad. It is about knowing your capability. Am I capable to take the responsibility or not? If you just got hesitated, don't take it. If you are sure about it, and you're sure about it here, and you will feel it, you go for it.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So wish we answered your questions, Muhammad, and thank you for your call.
Okay. So after we take care of our friends, and this is our main responsibility, friends, neighbors, and of course the family. Okay? When the inheritance was made that a man should, especially a son, okay, would take twice as his sisters, okay? The main reason for this is that because of the man is responsible of his sister even when she gets married, okay? And he is like a parent to the little ones that she will have later on.
Sometimes the sister talks to the brother more than the parents.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. So
if he's a real brother.
Yes. So this is part of your responsibility, the responsibility of the brother to take care of his sister.
Yes.
And the same thing with the sister to take care of her brother, but the brother has more of a financial responsibility. Okay?
Financial and mental at the same
Of course,
time.
but first financial. The sister doesn't have the financial.
Yes.
But both of them have the, of course, the
yeah.
responsibility, the total responsibility was with the mental. The mental responsibility is there. Okay?
Yes.
But the financial, it's more the man.
Yeah, because it relies on the man's shoulder, yes.
Yes. So moving on, after that, we go to jobs, when you start working.
Yes.
Okay? Each manager, and this is why I'm surprised at today's world that everybody's fighting to become a manager, because they look at all the financial benefits.
Yes.
They don't look at the responsibility they have in front of God. Because if one little saying or one little rule or one little judgment they do which is wrong,
Yes, to their subordinates, they will be asked for.
Yes, they are asked for in front of God. Imagine that one day you give a performance appraisal to somebody who did a great job, and you didn't look at their work.
Yes.
And just gave them a 70% and 80% just because it was, this is what you wanted.
Yeah.
Okay?
Your mood.
Your moods, okay?
Yeah.
In the future, when you die,
Yeah.
Allah is going to bring that person and you, or that boss or manager, and He's going to say, tell me.
Yeah.
Why didn't you give him this? Okay, we're going to take from your good deeds and we're going to give to him.
Yes.
Just like that.
Actually, I see that, as I said, responsibility, they never end. And I see it's a great gift for everyone who could handle responsibility. And for every family, for every father, for every mother, please raise your kids to know the responsibility, have it, feel it. They carry it because sometimes it's a gift. Never raise your kids that responsibility is something bad. They should not be afraid of responsibility. If they are ready for it and they can carry it, believe me, they are lucky. So before we end our episode, I'd like to thank our dear guest and the expert in human resources, Mr. Ahmed Afifi. Thank you for
having me.
Thank you again. And please watch us again next week on a new episode with a new topic in Omar's life. So thank you so much. See you next week, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Chances, dreams and goals, many mixed emotions in my heart and soul. For some I made a plan and did the best I can. If God wills, things can happen. After all, I'm just a man. Choices, chances, dreams and goals, many mixed emotions in my heart and soul. For some I made a plan and did the best I can. If God wills, things can happen. After all, I'm just a man. Ooh.